Just showing you, it's about a 3-minute film. It's really about, I think, this is kind of a sort of a cross-section of a year. And I feel very fortunate. I feel I have a very extraordinary life. Like Lee said, it started here. I did my apprenticeship 2 streets down from here as a jeweller on the bench. And that really is my link to everything that I do. But we're just going to have a quick look at this because, like I say, I'm sure, I don't know if everybody here plans to be in the jewellery industry. I really don't know. Maybe some of you do. But you might find it kind of interesting that as a jeweller, possibly, you can have a lot of variety in your life. So we're just going to start with that. Right, there we go. So, I guess what I've managed to do is carve something that's gone way, way beyond what I could ever have imagined when I was doing my apprenticeship and learning the trade. I was very happy doing that, but sort of 36 years down the line, you're always looking for ways that you can kind of, I suppose, broaden your horizons. And I've always been a jeweller, so I've managed to broaden my horizons within being a jeweller. So, as we stand today, I've got this sort of very interesting life. I've got Stephen Webster, I'm founder and creative director of Stephen Webster. And then for the last sort of 3 or 4 years, I've been creative director of Garrard, which is 275 years old. 160 years of that was the Crown Jeweller. So we've got back some pictures of the Queen here, and really could count the sort of the backbone of British society amongst its clientele. And then, like I say, the Stephen Webster brand, which is a much younger brand, I would say perhaps a little bit more rebellious in its spirit. So it's quite a schizophrenic life. I can tell you now, before we get to that bra, that Monday night, I was a host of the Cecil Beaton exhibition of photographs of the Queen, celebrating the Queen's Diamond Jubilee at the Victorian Albert Museum, and I was there meeting the royals and being very proper and being a Garrard. And then on Tuesday morning, yesterday, I had a breakfast launch of my bra for Dirty Pretty Things as the Stephen Webster. So, you know, just get your head around that one. And every now and again, I remember which meeting I'm at. So, but anyway, it's quite interesting. So I think that even though they're very, very different brands, they're like poles apart, there's things that unite both brands, and I think they're the bits that I can manage. They're the sort of the craftsmanship, you know, the spirit of creativity, and the reasons that I joined the jewellery industry. So they're the bits that I managed to work between. And I've sort of hit a little bit on the fact that I did my apprenticeship down the road here. And before I went there, I went to art school. It was there was a course then called pre-apprentice course, which I don't think exists anymore. It might be considered something desperately old-fashioned, I don't know. But basically, I went to art school because I could draw, and I liked fashion. And I thought, well, if I can draw and I like fashion, I'll be a fashion designer. And I hadn't thought about it any more than that. I went along, I got in, and then I saw the fashion department, and the fashion department was full of sewing machines and girls. And I'd been to an all-boys school. I was 16 and I couldn't handle either of those. I thought, this is really not for me. And on top of that, the tutor was, I want to say, he had a theatrical slant. He was a very, very flamboyant homosexual man that I'd never come across such a character before, coming from Gravesend Grammar School. So all these things just made me sort of have a meltdown. And but fortunately, when I was sort of walking around the college, it was Medway College, which is I think now the University of the Creative Arts. I don't know if anyone went there or whatever, but there was the jewellery course, and there was just something about it. I saw the jewellery course. It had machinery, it had flames, it had chemicals, and out the other end was these people were making these beautiful, intricate little things. Even though they were at college, they were like these sort of, I suppose, test pieces, whatever it was. They weren't real, but they looked real to me. And I thought, oh my God, that looks amazing. And so I sort of managed to get in on that course. And I think literally from that moment, I couldn't believe that this was a way you could make a living. It just seemed extraordinary, you know, that it was like a treat, unbelievable. And so I sort of sailed through that, and I really kind of excelled in it. I think my passion was there, and from there I went. It was called a pre-apprentice course, so you did a year, and then you did an apprenticeship, and you went back a day or 2 days every week to the art school to do what was the City and Guilds. Again, I don't even know if they exist anymore. Maybe they do. Who knows? But that was the qualification, and so I'm sort of between the two. I've got the art school bit, which I still really love, and then I'm doing my apprenticeship down the road here for a company that still exists, so I have to be a bit careful here. But I sort of very, very quickly, I sort of looked around at the other people that were in the workshop with me, and I thought, I don't want to be like them. They don't look very glamorous. I thought this was supposed to be a glamorous industry, and what I was doing was making handmade chains. And honestly, you hear about the chain gang, well, that's people in prison. Well, this was a bit like that. So I would make like 50 metres of handmade chain just to be given another 50 metres to make. And you could never get to the end of it. It was like that. And I thought, oh my God, this is not what I'd envisioned. And so anyway, I stuck it out. I stuck it out there because I was learning, nonetheless. I was learning I could really solder very, very quickly. Trust me, really quickly. And so there was that bit, but I knew I was going to outgrow it. I could see the people around me. They didn't seem to be the people that I imagined was in this glamorous industry. They seemed to sort of get in. They didn't talk to each other, and they just made chain. And